It's another beautiful day in Steinhatchee, Florida, July 2026, and we're heading out on Tuesday morning, heading north from Deadman's Bay up to an area around Big Grassy Island. So I made this video to give you some hints and ideas on how to find some good areas to scallop and what to look for while you're snorkeling around, looking in the grass and in the sand for scallops. Here's some video footage of us running out of Deadman's Pass early in the morning, probably about 8 o'clock or so, and we're running west. Sun's coming up behind us. It's a real pretty sky, and we'll be running about 12 miles to the north up to an area around Grassy Island. So what to look for when you're out looking for a good area to scallop? Obviously other boats, they'll give you a good idea that they might be onto some scallops. Look for color changes on the bottom. You can see the lighter color, that's sand, the darker areas are grass. So you can see there's a good amount of sand and grass mix in this area. Visibility is also very important. So if you can make out the grass in the bottom, you're probably in a good area of visibility. So you found a good area with a mix of grass and sand. And when you get in the water, you're going to be able to tell the difference between the two primary types of grasses that grow in the Gulf. There's turtle grass, which is a wider blade grass, kind of thicker. And then there's manatee grass, which is kind of round and a little bit thinner. So it's always good to find a little bit of a mix if you can. A lot of times you can't really tell until you get in the water and get your mask on and go down and take a look and see what's on the bottom. You also want to look for sand. You can see there's quite a bit of sand in this area, and the scallops will move from the grass to the sand to the grass. And a lot of times you'll find them on the edges of the sand and the grass. So that's why I like to work an area that has some sand in it. So this is the first area that we tried out on Tuesday morning. It's about 5 or 6 feet deep here. It's got a good mix of sand and some turtle grass. So I just like to work the edges, see what I can find. And when they're laying in the sand, if they're laying kind of like their camouflage side up, they kind of blend in with the sand a little bit. So you just gonna have to kind of look for almost like kind of like a rock sitting on top of the sand. It's usually a scallop. So there's two right there. You can see their camouflage side up, if you will. That one, the lighter side was facing up, so a little bit easier to see. But just work the edges and you'll probably find some scallops if they're in the area. If not, you just have to kind of work around that area, see if you can find some, and if not, then pull the anchor and go to another area. That's what scalloping's all about. So this is the first time that I've ever done any underwater video. So I've got the camera in my left hand, I've got my bag clipped to my shorts, and I've got my right hand as my picking hand. So doing my best to try to pick up scallops, put them in the bag with one hand. Not the easiest thing to do, but I managed. One of the things that I've always said to everybody that has gone scalloping with me is that if you find one, kind of circle that same area, because where there's one, there's probably two or three or four. This trip, we found quite a few bunched up all together in some areas. Later in the video, you'll see they're just everywhere. So here's Danielle. We just got out of the water. We were in there for maybe 45 minutes to an hour, and we got close to our limit. I got about 1.5 gallons, maybe 2 gallons. You can see it in the bag, pretty good amount. And the limit per person per day is 2 gallons. So this was the next day out by Big Grassy Island. And instead of dragging a scallop bag around with me, the whole time while I'm scalloping, I decided I'd try the floating basket bag, which is essentially a scallop bag with a pool noodle to make it float and some zip ties to hold the bag to the pool noodle. As you can see, this grass right here is manatee grass, and it's got the orange spongy stuff, as I like to call it, mixed in with it. And you can see there's quite a few scallops in this area. And you can see I'm not really far from the boat, so we hit a pretty good spot right off. And all those little white dots you see down there, those are scallops. Visibility in this area was really good. I'd say it's probably about a 9 out of 10. As you can see, they're just sitting in the grass. They're pretty much everywhere. So this is my first time trying the floating scallop bag, and compared to the bag that you wrap around your wrist, the floating scallop bag gives you a little bit more freedom, but the rope has a tendency to get in your flippers a little bit, and then when you do get a pretty good load of scallops in your bag, you're pulling that thing around and it's a little heavy. So, but it does free up both hands. That's the one good advantage with the floating scallop bag. As you can see, they're pretty thick in this area. So there is a legal limit for scallops. They've got to be 2 inches in diameter or larger, and the primary reason why they set them at 2 inches and larger is because at that size, that's when they start to release, the females release eggs and the males release sperm to fertilize the eggs. So you don't want to keep any small ones, because if you keep the small ones, they don't have a chance to reproduce. So that's the reason why. And after a while, if you do it enough, you'll be able to see while you're in the water which ones are legal and which ones aren't. And then what we usually do is, if they're borderline, we usually take them back to the boat, and then before we put them in the well, we usually have a little gauge, little plastic gauge that we use to measure them, and if they're too small, we just throw them right back in. And you can see my scalloping partner, Danielle. There she goes. She's got one off the bottom right there. And she did pretty good that day. There she is. So we usually have pretty good luck every year. Last year, we went south just about every day. We usually go for about 4 or 5 days. We went south every day, and we got our limit every day. This year, we decided we'd go north because south, the visibility wasn't all that great. So that's why we went north. And usually you can find a whole collection of boats out there on the water, and that's usually a pretty good sign of where the scallops are. So as you can see, we found a pretty good spot. They were plentiful. They were decent size, not real big, and you can kind of see that my bag was filling up. So we were getting ready to head back to the boat. There's my floating bag. All right, so we just went out for about 20 minutes and I pretty much got my limit. Danielle got probably about half of hers. Here's my bag. They're all in this grass right behind the boat, as you saw in the video. That's Danielle's catch. So we're gonna have to measure them here in a minute. Having fun?
Yes.
All right. So a lot of people ask me, what else do I see when I'm out there scalloping in the water? Well, just about anything and everything. You see sea stars, you see seahorses, you see all kinds of fish, you see sea urchins, sponges, a little bit of everything. It's like swimming around in an aquarium. It's beautiful out there. It's very relaxing. It's therapeutic. It's good exercise. And it's like an Easter egg hunt. Kids love it. So if you haven't tried it, you should try to get down to the Gulf Coast of Florida and try it sometime. It's a lot of fun. So here's an area, a big, large area of sand. There's scallops there also. You can see one right there closing up as I got close to it. They've got sensors, eyes, if you will, around the perimeter of the shell, and they close whenever you get close to them. So I'm heading back to the boat with the load of scallops, dump them out, measure them, and I think we're done for the day. So after we got our limit, I decided to jump back in the water and do a little bit more video of the bottom, the grass, and see if I couldn't find some more wildlife. There's a little guy, there's a couple of them hiding in there in that manatee grass. There's another one. As you can see in the other videos, there's quite a few, very abundant this year. So, some fun facts about bay scallops. So, believe it or not, they filter about 4 gallons an hour, and they're filtering the water to get food, algae and plankton. So that's quite a bit of work for one little scallop, 4 gallons an hour. So the lifespan of a bay scallop is about 1 year to 2 years. So when the waters get cooler in the fall and the winter time frame, that's when they release their eggs and their sperm, and that's when they start to reproduce. So they grow pretty fast. So you can imagine if they were fertilized and started growing in the December, January time frame, by the time scallop season rolls around in June, they're almost legal size. So what to wear while you're scalloping? It's a good idea to have on a long sleeve shirt, preferably with a hood. If you wanted to put it over your head, protect your head from getting sunburn, that's always a good idea. Swim shorts, some high visibility fins, and a black mask is always a good idea. And you got to have a scallop bag or some way to collect your scallops. You can see I've got my floating bag with me right there. So that last video clip, you saw that boat kind of cruising by. He was way too close. They're not supposed to be any closer than 300 feet. and you can kind of hear the engine noise underwater. So if you ever hear that, you got a boat pretty close by and probably need to figure out which way it's going. A little bit more video of the area up by Big Grassy Island. Pretty grass beds on the bottom. There's a pretty sea star coming up here in a minute. I wanted to show you that. There he is, sitting there in the grass. So we got our limit each day, anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes. So we were in and out of the water pretty quick, almost too easy. And we had good weather, and we had a real good time. Looking forward to going next year. So we were just getting ready to leave. We were out there by Big Grassy Island, and we were the first boat out there this morning, and then you can kind of see these other boats just kind of came up on us, and they're way too close. You can see the little graphic that I got up on the screen. You're not supposed to be within 300 feet. You can see these guys are a whole lot closer than 300 feet. And you're supposed to be diving, snorkeling within 100 feet of your boat. So here we are running back from Big Grassy Island back to Deadman's Bay. It was a beautiful day. The water wasn't too bad. It was maybe like about a half a foot to a foot of chop. And the 1995 162 Scout gave us a smooth ride. And the 2025 Suzuki 90 horse ran great the whole trip.